Hi, good morning. I'm talking to clinical psychologist Lihi Gilhar. Hi, Lihi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Lihi, today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about OCD. What is OCD and what's the difference between a worry and an obsession?
Okay, well, essentially OCD, it's a recurrent obsession or compulsion, which is sufficiently severe that it causes marked distress. And what that means is that you find a person that they are preoccupied either with the obsession or with the compulsion, and to such an extent that it basically causes distress in their everyday functioning, in their relationship, in their work. It affects their functioning to such a degree that they're unable to function normally. And the difference, sorry, you were asking about the worry. The difference with the worry, I also need to separate and explain what is a compulsion and what is an obsession, because they are different. And your worry, you're able to essentially calm it down, and then you're able to carry on. It isn't a constant intrusive thought or a behavior that you're constantly needing to do in order to try and alleviate an underlying anxiety, which doesn't get cured in any case. That's why it's constantly repetitive, because they're trying to calm an underlying anxiety, but it isn't effective. And your worry, you're basically able to switch off and carry on functioning. It concerns you, but you're saying, okay, you're rationally able to calm that anxiety down.
So how would OCD be diagnosed?
OCD is diagnosed, as I was saying, that you need to have a repetitive, either it's an obsession or a compulsion, or you can have both. And basically what an obsession is that it's a recurrent or intrusive thought, feeling, idea, or sensation. Now, it's a mental process. And your compulsion, it's a behavioral manifestation, whereby it's a conscious, continuous effort to do something. So you've got to have that. You can have both of them. And it needs to be to such an extent that it causes dysfunction in one of the arenas of life, be it in a relationship, be it in your work environment, be it in your daily functioning. It's got to preoccupy you that you cannot function normally. Like, the person that has the obsession with switching off the lights, and then they go back about 20 times to check and they're unable, and then they'll go out the house and then they'll come back. Or someone that has the cleaning, constantly having to clean, they're unable to function normally.
What are other common obsessive thoughts?
Well, you've got 5 different ones, and the first one is your contamination, whereby there's usually the behavior is that they're constantly needing to clean. There's that great movie with now I've forgotten the name, with Jack Nicholson, where he had OCD, but he had a couple, like he was wearing the gloves, and then you can only step on particular squares. So you get the contamination, that's the one. Then you get the pathological doubt, and that's where they're constantly needing to go back and check. So they check, they don't remember, did I switch it off? Even though they know that they switched it off, they don't. Then you've got your intrusive thoughts. You've got your symmetry, where everything needs to be, exactly the same, positioned in the exact same place. And then you also get religious thoughts. Those are basically the types of obsessions that people can have.
And when does normal checking end and pathological checking begin?
We would say when it starts being, when you're basically aware that it's causing you distress. We can check. Sometimes you can find yourself, oh, did I switch it off? And then you go back and you check. And, when it's once, it's okay. But if it's like a constant ritual where you're actually having to do something constantly, and it surpasses the 2, 3, 4 times, and it's on every day, and you're constantly anxious and you're unable to calm yourself down without doing it, then it's a concern.
And can people with OCD live normal, productive lives?
I think it depends what type of OCD you have. And I think that you can. I mean, I know that I once treated a woman that had anorexia, and she had OCD as well. And what she would do, she was very high functioning, managed to run a house, take the kids to school, all of that. But when 10 o'clock came at nighttime, and that was the alone time, she would start the cleaning process. And this would go up until 4 o'clock in the morning. And she would have to clean everything spotless, and then she'd stand up on top and overlook the entire house. And if she thought that everything was positioned and clean the way that it should be, then she could go to sleep. So essentially in the day-to-day, she's functioning. In the nighttime, when it comes to be alone, well, then that's when the obsession and the compulsion comes up. So I think it depends on the severity of the obsession or the compulsion.
So if I think I have OCD, or someone that I know has OCD, where can I go and, start looking for help?
Going to a psychologist, that would be someone. I mean, I know that sometimes they do give medication, again, depending on the severity, because that alleviates the anxiety, because at the root of your OCD is an unconscious anxiety, which needs to kind of be unmasked. And once you unmask it, then you understand what it is that you're fearing, and then you can work with it and overcome it. So sometimes medication is also given to help with that anxiety, but it's only through therapy that you can treat it.
Thank you. Thank you, Lehi. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
You're welcome. Have a good day.